Hello, everybody. My name is Leonardo Murrieta-Lagos. And if you couldn't tell from that long name, I am Mexican. Thank you. 100% Mexican, in fact. I was born there, and so were my parents. My dad's from the north, and my mum is from the south. That's a sentence you wouldn't expect to hear from someone who is 100% Korean. And that is because there aren't very many Koreans in the north or the south of Mexico. It takes a lot of courage to tell that one in front of an audience. But then again, it takes a lot of courage to tell any joke in front of an audience. There are all these things that go through your head. What if the audience doesn't laugh? What if I bomb? What if I face rejection? And these were all fears for me until I heard about this book called Rejection Therapy. And what it does is it teaches you not to fear rejection, but to embrace it. And upon hearing about it, I thought, well, this is just the thing I need so I can do stand-up comedy. So I went up to my dad and I said, Dad, have you heard about this book? It's called Rejection Therapy. It's really, really sick. It teaches you not to fear rejection, but to embrace it. Could you please buy it for me? He said no. And I said, thanks, Dad, because it's good practice. But as a comedian, you don't just practice your confidence. You also practice your jokes. And that's what I do. I take my jokes to my friends and I slip them into conversation. And sometimes I get a laugh. Sometimes I get feedback. But what I find odd is that my friends laugh the hardest when I'm not telling jokes. Yeah, my friends laugh at me, and I don't know why. I'll give you an example. Two friends were talking about dresses for semi-formal, and one of them said, I really like this mini dress. And I, not imagining what part of a dress could possibly be mini, asked, what's a mini dress? And they laughed at me. And I said, what's so funny? And they said, what's funny is that you're slow. Slow? Me? I'm not slow. Yeah. Thank you. I'm pretty nimble. But even then, I don't see what physical ability has to do with the... Slow? I'm not slow. No, in fact, I'm pretty intelligent. I take chemistry at school, for example. You have to be pretty smart to do chemistry. I'll give you an example. One time in chemistry, we did an experiment where we were mixing different salt solutions together. And we'd mix them together, and sometimes this powdery solid stuff would form at the bottom of the beaker. So I took the beaker to my chemistry teacher, and I asked him, hey, sir, what's this solid stuff? Well, that is an insoluble salt. An insoluble salt? What's that? It's a salt that doesn't dissolve in water. Will it ever dissolve in water? Nope. Never? Never. Never? Sir, has your sense of morality dissolved? And he said, what do you mean? Well, we've left this poor salt in a solid state of crisis forever. Will it ever go home to its family? Does it have a family? I don't know, you haven't taught us that yet. And he said, dude, what are you talking about? A family? It's just a salt. Yeah, this is a salt. This is harassment. Not letting this poor salt dissolve when it wants to. And by this point, I was getting a bit salty. Almost inconsolable. And he said, Leo, you need to chillax. It's really fine. And I said, no, sir, it's not fine. This is a problem, and I want a solution. Thank you very much. I've been Leonardo Murrieta-Lagos.